What's up, everybody? It's your host, Jarrell Washington, with my co-host, Isai.
Isai Science.
And we got another guest in the building today.
What's up,
Please
fellas?
introduce yourself.
My name is Jackson Montemayor, and I work in camera here in Kansas City. I DP, camera assist, camera operate, a little bit of everything.
My man's in the camera world.
All the camera stuff.
Cameraman, yeah.
Have you drone up? You drone up too?
I have a drone, but I haven't drawn up for money.
Are you like when you drone though? Do you like wreck your drone every time?
I
you
haven't
fly?
wrecked my drone, but someone
I
has.
have a.
Someone has wrecked my
someone
drone.
has.
Someone's also wrecked
someone
my
whose
drone.
name rhymes with Bapiana has wrecked my drone. But
Bapiana.
Boppy.
our drone,
Oh,
actually. So she
Bapiana.
wrecked her drone too. Yeah. Oh, Bapiana.
Oh, Bapiana.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
It happens to the best of us, though.
So tell me a little bit real quick. Like I'm gonna just, I guess not real quick, but dive into it. But like, how is it working with someone in the industry? Like, what's that like dating someone else is working in the same industry as you?
We should. Okay, so Jackson is dating Tatiana.
Well, I was gonna clarify all that afterwards.
Okay.
I wanted to hear what you done fucked it up.
Well, let me. Okay, so my girlfriend is Tatiana Rodriguez. She's a production coordinator here in Kansas City. She was just on the last episode of this show. So you guys
Recent,
probably
yeah. We don't know when we'll drop this one.
Might be out of order.
Might be out of order.
maybe, well, yeah, whatever. But yeah, no, we started dating. She hired me on at the documentary production company that I interned at in college. She was working there full time, and I remember I was just in school one day, and my brother sent me this resume, or not a resume, it was a call for interns. And I looked at the bottom of the page, and her name was down there, and so I called the number right next to it and applied, and she hired me. And
Now, did she hire you because of your looks? Did she hire you because you could do?
When
the
did the
job?
flirting start?
multiple
When did
aspects.
the flirting start? Did it start
There's
immediately?
always a little bit of flirting,
But like we were
Oh.
both with other people at the time, so we were like both in committed relationships.
Okay.
So we were casual. We were
Respectful.
casual, but there was always a little bit of like,
A little side eye.
little, like,
Mm,
kind of
like-
stuff.
Oh shit!
you can respectfully get it.
Hey, respectfully get it.
Yeah, respectfully.
No.
But yeah, no, it was great. We worked there together at that intern documentary production company for. She was there for a few years. I was there about a year, and then when we both left is when we had both ended relationships with our significant others, and we started hanging out. And
It was a weird timing right there.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it's crossroads in our lives.
Crossroads,
Yeah, we
huh?
were there for
It
each
was
other.
meant to
so-
be. It was meant to be.
I like
to be.
that though.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think the biggest part for me is like when I'm with someone, I really want to be involved in their life, and like really just like I want us to live our lives together, right? And so being with someone in the industry allows us to really get to experience not only each other's like lives outside of work, but lives inside of work as well.
Ups and
'Cause we
downs
work
of it.
work together a lot, so like we'll be on set. I'd say a lot of times we'll be on set together, and so I get to see her out there like hustling and getting
Right.
it, and she gets to see me doing shit, and so it's been really fun to be together, integrated in that aspect of our lives.
I love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
You guys are a cute fucking couple. Like
Thanks,
I
man.
saw your
I love her, dude.
Instagram Valentine's. It was like, oh,
That
you
was-
cooking dinner
I
together, got
love
some
it.
wine, got the kitty hanging out.
Yeah,
The
we're
van
sappy.
trip? That was, I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
van.
Oh,
that was a
dude,
relationship
so
goal.
much
I'll
fun.
G'd that too, bro. The fact that y'all broke down and worked that
Bro,
shit out
we
together.
broke down hella,
Like-
dude. Like we broke down so many times. It was like, well, that's what made the journey even better, though. Is like, if everything went smooth sailing, that would have been fun. But there's like, it's got to be a little drama, man. It's got to be a little drama.
Like, shit, the van's dead. Can't
Yeah.
charge the phone. Where's the nearest gas station at?
Did you have to push it at all? Ever?
Did we have to push it? I don't think we did. That thing is too big to push, bro.
Yeah.
That thing is like it was a 15 passenger church van originally.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, we still have it.
Fuck yeah.
It had its catalytic converter stolen though, so like.
Oh, hell no.
no.
Damn.
Okay.
That's happening a lot down
Did you
Yeah, I was
hear-
about to say, why are people out here stealing catalytic
Bro,
converters?
did you not hear what happened? There's this guy out of Independence who ran a mechanic shop, and he was buying catalytic converters from people that were bringing them in. He was selling them across the country, made $26 million after stolen catalytic converters
Wait,
in this area.
You're
What?
lying.
Yes,
Always-
he just got caught, and he's going to jail.
Why is it that
Bro, he probably sold
why
my
is he
catalytic
going to jail? It should be the people.
He incentivized people to bring in stolen catalytic converters.
Yeah.
He
okay,
incentivized
never mind.
people So like when you have someone like that, it's like,
Yeah.
I will take any catalytic converter. I don't know. I don't care if it's like, looks like it's been sawed off at the edge. Like I'll sell that shit. So people who need money.
At least he did it big though. Like I'd
He
be
did. He
pissed.
made
Bro.
$26 million.
If he made like $500,000, I'd be like, dude, like,
Well, there's
or even
well,
100,000.
The funny thing is though, I got people out in Indiana and down in Florida who've had their catalytic converters stolen. That's why I'm like,
He's
what
the
the
plug.
fuck? Like,
He's the
bro.
plug.
Yeah, out of Independence
Oh,
too.
You
It's
know what's crazy though? This happened recently. This happened last night.
Right.
Have you guys heard about what's happening with the Apple AirTags?
No.
Oh, I saw that message.
What's
bro.
happening
Scary as fuck.
is that people are reporting like getting followed, and they're getting notifications on their phone that there's an AirTag that doesn't belong to them, like attached to their location. So I saw a video about it. Like it's happening a lot in New York, because people can literally just buy AirTags like $25. You can
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
they're
cheap.
like they're $9. Oh well, yeah, 4-pack for 20. Yeah,
They're
yeah,
cheap.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
They're
they're $25 a piece, but that's still pretty cheap.
I got one at Best
Yeah.
Buy for like $10.
Was it an Apple one, or there's other ones like Tile?
Well,
I've used Tile.
no, it's not
I've used
Tile.
Tile, but-
It's an app. It's for Apple. It says for Apple specific, but it's a knockout brand too though.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
why
not a
it's-
legit Apple.
Well, the thing about the Apple ones is that it doesn't use GPS or Bluetooth. It uses it like geolocates the tag based off of other Apple products. So it'll like ping your phone and then like my iMac upstairs and my neighbor's like iPad to like show where the AirTag is at.
Fuck no.
So you can't like just turn off your Bluetooth or turn off your location. Like
You got to turn off your phone.
the only way. So okay. Anyways, Danielle, and it's not connected to your phone. You can turn off your phone and it's still like, because it's tracking the AirTag, not the phone.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's
So
scary as
Danielle last night, she wakes me up at 3 a.m. and she got a notification saying that there was an AirTag attached to her location or whatever that wasn't hers. And she woke me up. She's like, what's going on? And I was like, hold on, what? So I'm like waking up like, wait, just relax. Let's check your backpack,
Someone's
check
in
your
the
coat. Like, yeah, I was like, we like
Grab
took
the
everything
bat from under the pillow.
literally. So we like check all of her clothes, everything. And it's not anywhere in the apartment, but we see like it's like on like 9th and Main or something, which is like, okay,
Where's
maybe
your
it's on her car. So we went down, got security, like, yo, like I think someone is trying to like follow, Danielle or wherever, like because she went to the gym and there was like a weird, like, because she goes to One Life, there's a parking garage, and she went to Constantino's like on Sunday, and there was a car kind of like slowly going around the parking garage. So that's like what she thought, maybe they slid it under her bumper or something. Mm-hmm. So we went down there and like we searched the car, like we didn't find anything. So I was like, yeah, let's get in your car and drive around the block and see if the AirTag moves like on the map, because you can see it on the map.
Right.
So we're driving around like the block and it's not on her car, luckily, but we find it and it's like across the street in a private parking garage where you can't go in because it has like a gate. So at some point in time, like it was attached to, it was close enough for her phone to think that it was like her AirTag or someone's AirTag that put it on her, and then they moved it.
Dangerously close.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So they
someone,
must
like
have,
really was like kind of
Yeah, and because you don't get
I
notified.
almost wondered if it was like,
scary.
right. Why didn't it bing you then?
You don't get, because I think what happened was it was on her car at one point and she was driving with it in the car, so it tracked like what the iPhone that it was moving with. So I don't know. I think that's what happened.
That's scary as fuck.
But the thing is, like,
It's scary.
if I gave you an AirTag, if I put it in your pocket right now and you didn't know, I could literally
Track
get
me.
like directions, like 500
Yeah.
feet, turn left, turn this to find you.
Oh,
And you would,
really?
yeah.
That specific.
It's
Yeah,
like the
it's
maps. It's so easy.
Right,
It's
right.
real specific.
That's whack, dude. Sometimes those location services are whack though, bro. Because like my last girlfriend, the girl I was dating before Tatiana, we shared our location services with us, and she would like, it wasn't very healthy. She would like keep tabs on me and shit. But one time I was like, she was looking at my location, and my location was like, the bridge heading north, going from like downtown.
Yeah.
My location was like 500 feet left of the bridge, like in the water. She called me and she's like, "Oh my God, I thought you like roll your car off the bridge and you're like at the bottom of the water or whatever." And it's like, nah, I'm like far away from that.
Nah,
way
that,
past
I'm not
that.
the
dead.
AirTags they work
not
too
dead.
well. That's
They
the
work
problem.
too well,
They
okay.
work too well, and Apple hasn't figured out how to like make them safe. The only thing on their website is that you have to find the AirTag and take out the battery. That's the only way to stop it from tracking you.
Then stop making them. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah.
The same thing with like the
They're trying to figure
Alexas,
it
bro,
out.
that are always listening to you and shit, or like they'll start talking to you and stuff. You guys ever have that?
The
You guys have
Alexas?
Alexas or Googles?
Nah,
Google?
my brother does.
You
I
guys
don't.
don't have
I had an
I don't
Alexa
fuck
talk
with
to me
them.
randomly.
I hear.
once.
Oh, because you don't want them listening.
I
to
don't
you?
want them listening to me. Like I already have Siri. That's enough.
Why though? Like, I mean, if they're listening to me, like, whatever. I'm just talking about gear or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking
I
about
was
anything.
low key thinking of getting a Google because I wanted to get Google Home and all that bullshit. But
They're dope, bro.
I thought about the whole like niggas do be listening to me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. I guess they listen to keywords. Like, there's not someone on the
Yeah,
other line like an actual person listening to Isai.
But they're listening
it's like
to because it's something like flags. They're like, oh,
yeah.
What can we take from this conversation?
I'm cool on it. I don't use it enough. Like, I don't even use Siri that much. So like,
I don't use Siri sucks now, bro.
yeah, I don't.
I try to, and she's just not.
Damn, she ain't the same bitch she used to be.
Nope.
What the fuck? I just got this
I think
iPhone.
my Siri's voice turned its voice differently. Like,
You
it's
can.
like,
change it.
I think it is a whole different lady now.
My Siri's
though.
Australian.
my Siri like went more robotic. So I was like, did someone hack my phone? It sounds more like an Android voice.
Hold up,
Change
wait.
that.
Is
You
your
can change
Siri?
that.
Is Siri? When you look on iMaps or whatever, when you do iMaps, is it a guy or a girl?
iMaps.
Or is it supposed to be Siri?
Huh?
On your like iMaps, like they're not iNavigate, whatever.
Oh,
Is
the
this
navigation voice.
Yeah.
I turn that off, man.
Yeah, I turned it off too. It was annoying.
You ever listen to a
I
podcast,
think
listen to
I
music,
think
and then she interrupts you, and you're
I
like,
hate
dude, I
that.
just
I
messed
think
the best
Darius-
part. Now I got to rewind 15 seconds.
Yes,
Let's do
bro,
it again.
Thank you.
Like,
Bro,
no, shut up.
I'm pretty
Shut
sure
up.
Darius Rucker is on my GPS. It sounds like a country black guy. I'm not lying.
It's right.
It's pretty cool.
Dude, there's this app, Waze, where you can input your own
Oh yeah,
voice.
yeah.
in-
Waves is yeah.
So me and Tatiana, we're gonna do that. So like anytime I turn to hear a left, take
It's
a left
her
turn.
telling you.
Tatiana, she's like, take a left turn. And if I miss something, she's like, you missed that turn, dumbass. Like,
That
you
is
can, like you can
hilarious.
input stuff like that, and people have paid celebrities to input stuff on Waze. So like you can get like
Samuel
like
Jackson,
T-Pain or something on
yeah.
there, or Samuel
Yeah.
Jackson being like, turn left, motherfucker.
That is hilarious.
It's legit, dude. It's legit.
No, I did get the Samuel Jackson app echo thing, like when he was able to like
Oh,
get into the
right.
echoes and all that and tell you a
Right.
joke. And it was just like, hey Sam, how's the weather? And he'd tell you like it's 68, motherfucker. Like,
It's
yeah.
cold as fuck.
But it would ask you before. He was like, do you want explicit Sam Jackson or clean Sam Jackson? Explicit, please. Thank you.
You can't get Sam Jackson on your Alexa and not have him explicit.
I know, right? Like, why would you even ask me that
Yeah.
question?
That's I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was just like,
Next level, bro. Soon they'll have your voice on there.
dude,
So
I'm
you-
wondering like, what if, because like with the new age like AI, like people are trying to like own the rights for their image like
Right.
digitally, and also I wonder if you can do it with your voice. You know, like I wonder if you
totally.
can own your voice.
Oh, yo,
I
you're gonna have to,
guarantee
man.
you can own your.
For
I
sure.
guarantee you, Mariah Carey owns her voice.
How does that work though?
Just how you can
Paperwork.
put insurance on an ass.
Insurance on ass?
What?
Like
Insure your ass?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Nicki Minaj has her ass insured. Mariah Carey has her
Wait,
thighs
is that not like
insurance.
included in health insurance though? Like,
No.
aren't you like your entire
Apparently-
body insured?
Apparently, you can get your.
Well, is it
like,
Did she have a
implants?
fake ass though? Is that why?
implants.
I don't even think it's just. I think it's because like it's their moneymaker,
What?
Word.
bro. I'm look it up. I'm being
So
dead.
what does the insurance do?
Like if maybe if her ass ever got like stabbed or shot or something like that, then it covers ass replacement.
Better insure those guns, bro.
Like I don't
Never
fucking know. Like that's the thing. I
It'd be crazy if like let's say J-Lo, like
oh, it might be J-Lo act. Hold on, I need to look this up.
That would
'cause I'm
make
being
sense.
dead serious.
if
about
you could
this,
be like,
dude.
look, on average, to break this down, my butt cheeks make like
My butt cheeks.
$750,000 a year bare minimum, and this is how I can prove it. Then like if you get
You
bit
might
by a
be able to
shark
insure
and
it.
your ass cheek gets ripped off, then maybe you get that for like 5 years.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that would be kind of
Get
cool.
a new one. Yeah.
Huh?
Wow, that's interesting. J-Lo, Nicki Minaj. There's some other
Even what about actors?
some
What
other
if,
musicians with.
what if
with
actors
booties.
get their face messed up? Like, can they get insurance on that?
I feel like that's happened. I don't know if they get
Oh.
insurance on it. I just feel like it's included.
The
in
rumor
health
was
insurance.
debunked in 2020.
Yeah.
J-Lo's ass is not insured for $27 million, but that was
That
a
sounds
rumor
like a
out there.
rap line,
So
bro.
you're just
Like,
spreading
her ass
fake
is
news
insured.
at this point.
I don't know though.
We
I
just spent,
I don't know
5
though.
minutes on that, bro.
You should honestly
nothing.
think about. I know we spent way more time on some random shit. Hold on, let's
Is
get
this
back to
this
this.
podcast about
It's about
filmmaking, or we
you.
just like shooting the shit right now?
Hey, sometimes it does turn into.
You're
Hey,
right.
yeah.
He just
That's
loved
fun,
J Lo's
dude.
ass. I just wanted to bring it up.
I did just want to, but you brought up the air tags thing. So hold on a second, Jackson. What you been up to though, man? Lately?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of documentary work, which has been fun.
Nice,
yeah, as a DP lately.
Anything you can tell us about? Anything or you can give us?
The one that I am really excited about that we're doing right now, I can't say too much about. It's for a network series, a documentary
Congratulations,
series.
though.
I've been camera operating on that one, not DPing on it. I actually shot the sizzle for it, and it got picked up. I was hoping to get on as the DP, but it's like a big like a big thing.
Fuck yeah.
So they got like the DPs like in the ASC.
Okay.
So when they hired her, I was like, okay, that's fine.
Oh, you
that's
know
fine.
who
I'm
it
not
is,
DPing
too,
it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's fine. I'm not DPing it because I'm camera operating.
Oh, was it you took a picture with her? That
was the fill-in DP because she's not available for the first few weeks of it.
Okay.
She's coming in March, so I'm really excited to work with her. But the other girl, the woman DP was awesome.
That's awesome.
Let's
awesome.
go.
Yeah.
Women DP.
So it's been really cool. Like, because I really love that relationship between the camera operator and the DP, especially for me where I'm at in my career right now. Because like, I don't know if I'm ready to shoot like a big
be
like
in charge
series,
of the
you
frame.
know, like yeah, like that's a lot. And I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. So it's been really cool just to be side by side with the DP and like, especially when because we're operating together during these scenes. It's documentary, right? And like with documentary, you're just flying by the seat of your pants. Oftentimes
exactly.
you're just kind of going with it. It's not like a ton of scripted stuff. So it's usually like a dance, man. It's like when we're operating around each other, we have our contacts on and like we're just trying to find the best shots and like it's like master slave, right? Because the DP's A cam and I'm B cam, and so we're just working off each other and trying to find the best shots and like we'll be talking to each other really quietly and she'll be like, "Over there, get that." And I'm like, "Okay, I hear it." Like, blah, blah, blah. You know, so it's like
I love ear techs, brother.
God, I knew he was gonna talk about these damn ear techs again.
Oh, they're
Ear
next
techs.
level, bro. You got to be careful though. They can bite you in the ass. Some people forget that they're down.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get accustomed to the comms or like the regular one where you hit the button.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some people just start talking and they're down. Or I even worked with an out-of-town AC once who was kind of a hothead. And the DP was just kind of like all over the place. And this AC was like very regimented. So he didn't like that the DP was like kind of all over the place. So he was getting really frustrated. But we were on comms. And so he didn't know. He hadn't used them before. So he didn't know that like when you have them down, if you flip them up and you flip them too far the other way, they get activated. So like the DP would ask for something and he'd be like, "Okay, I'm on it." Flip it too far the other way and he'd be like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And like I hear it, I'm like, I walk up to him and I just put it up for it. I'm like, and like the DP totally heard that and he just doesn't say anything. It's like, oh,
That's
no.
awkward.
That's hella awkward.
Dude, so tell me about, so you AC'd for a while and now you're getting more into camera operating and DPing.
Yeah, and so I still AC too.
Yeah.
I still AC too. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's I mean, I like to. If someone were to ask me if I wanted to DP exclusively at this point, I would probably say no. Because I'm still early in my career and I still feel like I have a lot to learn. Right. You know, because being a DP is not just something that you can just like, it's not like something you just pick up, you know? It's like years and years of learned experiences. And like I want to work. I try to get my hands on Genie as much as I can too, just so I can learn like because there's so many nuances in each department, man. Yeah. And like if you don't work in those departments and pick up on those nuances, I feel like you're not gonna be able to accurately like convey what you want and have good communication with those departments when you're in charge of it.
100%.
Because that's the DP's job. Is like you're in charge of two departments, camera and G&E.
Yep.
And like those departments will smell the bullshit if you're asking for shit, if you're talking about some shit and you don't know what a fucking Carlini is, right?
Yeah.
Like they will smell that shit. And like I do not want to be in that position.
Smell bitch.
And like not have earned it or deserved it or like worked hard enough to like, okay, I know what's going on. I can like have these conversations with people and it works out. So I'm playing the long game and I'm just trying to take as much as I can and then supplementing that with doing my own DP work.
I had the exact same mentality, bro. Like I started DPing more like this last year, but before like last year I was like, no, like I need to just focus on like understanding like even how ear techs work. I had never worked with ear techs. I'm like, how like, I can't DP if I don't even know how to use these, you know? Right. So like, but I got really lucky because I jumped really from being a PA to then just G&E. And I worked as a G&E like on a feature and I worked in G&E for like probably a lot of gigs for like 3 to 6 months. Like it was mostly just G&E work. Yeah. And I learned so much working on that feature. Yeah. It was like a crash course on like how, you know, the departments function together and how the DP like interacts with the gaffer and how the gaffer interacts with the best boy and grip. And so I was like, okay, like I get G&E a little bit more. I definitely don't understand like every little piece of gear. Yeah. But then I realized I was like, the DP his job is to hire a gaffer that really knows it, right? And he can just give him the lighting breakdowns or like everything that he's looking for. And if the gaffer is good, like he'll figure that out.
Totally. So, and you see that a lot. Like with every good DP, there's a better gaffer behind him, right?
100%, bro. 100%.
And that's. I mean, and there's only so much. Like being a DP, and there's a lot of positions too in filmmaking where you're juggling so many things. But as a DP, like you are definitely juggling a lot. And so having people behind you that you can just be like, this is what I want, and they're like, okay, this is how I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna make it happen for you. You don't have to tell me how you want it to happen. You just like, I want it to look this way, and then they can go and accomplish that. But it definitely puts you ahead of the curve if you're able to like communicate with them and like talk exactly like what you want. You know?
Exactly.
So that's definitely important. It's
Gear.
just slow,
Gear. That's all I hear when you.
That's
what you
philosophy
can with
about it too.
people.
You know, it's like
I mean, the gear's important, bro. Like that's really like
they're just tools, man.
that's the
at the
funny
end of the
part. It's like
day-
the paintbrush, you know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, gear's important, and I love gear, man. I love playing around with stuff. I like ACing and stuff like that. But they're all just tools, man. Like you can't use the same tool for every job. Each
No, of
different
course
jobs
not.
require different tools. So like
Yeah.
you might need an Alexa Mini for this job, or you might need a Panavision camera for another job. It just depends on what you want and like what the
100%.
look you're going for. Different lenses, they all give different looks, and so it's important to like be aware of what you're using. Like if you're able to broaden your understanding of like what tools are available, then you'll have more colors for your painting. That makes sense.
I like. Okay, I see that analogy there.
And that's weird. It's like a different, like that mentality is actually kind of like not really talked about now. Like wanting to use different gear, because now it's like more of like a owner operator industry.
That's the thing, man.
So like
Especially in this market that we live in,
Yeah.
it's like if you want to get consistent work as a DP, you should probably own a camera.
yeah,
And like it's different in LA because like if you're working as DP in LA, you don't have to own a camera. There's like a lot of big jobs
That's
where
weird.
they just hire you and you're like, okay, this is the camera that I want on features and stuff. Like I just worked with the DP from Hereditary and like Montemayor and stuff, and he was just telling me about before he goes into every feature, he gets every camera on the market and he tests every single one of them for the look. And so like these different films that he's worked on, there's a different look for each one.
You
So
gotta
like when he
find-
was finding the look for Hereditary, he determined, I think it was the DXL2 is the one that he wanted to use on that one. But then when he went into Montemayor, he tested that one for that specific look and was like, this
Oh, you
does
were on that
not
shoot with
work
James?
at all. Yeah.
He told me
Yeah.
that it was like, dude, I inadvertently met the DP for Midsummer. I was like, wait, what? And
He's
you
so
didn't even
cool,
like
bro.
talk to him. He was like,
That's
I had
dope.
no idea until afterwards.
He was so cool, bro. He was so cool, bro.
that's hella
Tatiana
dope.
really hooked me up on that one too, because she's like, hey, the DP and the director are just going to run around and get like some pickup shots on Sunday. It's like they're just doing it for their own fun. If you want, you could probably like
hop on.
hop
Tatiana.
on.
and,
And,
like-
like, and so I
shout
was
out
like,
Tatiana.
I was like kind of nervous at first. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll do it.
Hell
And
yeah.
so it was just the three of us. We were just driving around and just talking shit. And like, he was just telling me like how it
All
works
the
like on the big level stuff.
bro,
Dude, that's
got
amazing.
some
It was
gems.
so cool, bro. It was so
Got
cool,
some
bro.
gems.
And even at the end, he was like, man, I'd like to have you out like on my camera team on the next film, but like you need to be in the union and stuff. So I don't
Now
have
you know what you
I don't
gotta
have
do
union
now.
hours, dude.
Now you know what you got to
Yeah.
do, bro.
Yeah.
Just all you got to do is just get those
He was so
union
cool.
hours.
yeah,
I remember.
that's cool though, man.
It was cool. Yeah.
That's wild, bro. So how any gems you can drop for any DPs? Like, did you learn anything like that just stuck out? Like one thing. You don't even have to drop all of them. Just give me one thing that stuck out truly that he told you.
One thing that he told me is just to ask for things, like for with gear going in, and I even used this on the last documentary that I was a part of as a camera operator. It's just going in because some people will be afraid to ask for a certain piece of gear because it might be too much money, and like they don't want to go over budget. Or it's the same thing with like negotiating rate.
Right.
It's like scary to ask for your rate sometimes because you're afraid they're going to hear that and be like, nah,
No,
see
never
ya.
mind. We'll
Right.
go somewhere else.
Exactly. But for him, he's just like, just ask for what you want. Like the least worst I can say is no. But if
Or-
they say yes, then you get
Obviously, you
exactly
get
what
what
you
you
wanted.
wanted.
Just don't hold yourself back.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is necessarily the one piece of advice that I would give like in a budding DP, but that's in a piece of advice that he gave me.
Just ask.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think for me, like what's really helped me is I've learning as a DP is just like working with what's available. And that's what I really like about working like on documentaries is oftentimes we don't have time to set up lights. So it's just like, okay, how can we work with what we have? How can we use what's available? Let's open this window. Let's put the subject here. It's like, I've even used like people's coats as like negative fill. Like if we don't have like a flag or anything, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we have a C-stand. We have 4 people with like black coats. Let's just hang them up on the
give me a
C-stand
coat,
on
bro.
and like we
That's
use that as
literally,
negative
like,
fill.
I'm working with a company called Barcroft, and literally all of our shoots are like that.
Yeah.
Like I can bring my own kit or whatnot, but like they don't give you a budget for G&E. They don't give like, so I have to
Yeah.
get creative and be like, okay, like,
Totally.
and there's no like, we're usually shooting in like the person that we're shooting the documentary, we're shooting in their like living room. So I see their house for the first time and I'm like, okay, how do we like use this fireplace? How do we like,
Yeah.
you know, cover some of this light up, like, you know, add some negative fill, whatever. So that's like the funnest to me. Cause then when it's too, like, I don't have too much experience with narrative, but like narrative is so slow paced,
It is.
which is cool. But like, there's something about just seeing a spot and being like, all right, let's figure this out. It's like a puzzle, you know?
Oh, totally, dude. And that's why I like, I do more documentary work right now. And for a while I was like, man, I don't know if I should be doing more narrative work, more commercial work.
Yeah.
But then I was listening to a podcast with Roger Deakins, and he was like, I got my start like as a documentary DP. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm on the right track.
On the right track.
But it's fun to do all of them, right? Because it is fun to like go into an environment where you've never been, you've never seen, and you're like, okay, we have like 45 minutes to like make something here, and I haven't seen this before, so like let's just go and let's get it. And we don't have much to use, so let's just make it look good. But it is a lot of fun. Like I shot Vic's last short film.
Yep, that's what I was about to ask you too.
We had a lot of time to like go in and like make these things work and make these things look good. And like we were just standing by the monitor and we're just tinkering with stuff. Like, oh, we can kind of cut this down a little bit over here and this over here. I was just thinking like, man, I don't get this in documentary, bro.
Yeah.
Like I do not get this. And I just look at Vic and I was like, this is so much fun right now, bro. It's like so much fun right now, just tinkering with stuff.
Yep.
But,
when there's enough planning involved, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Especially like if
it's a balance.
As a producer, like if we plan.
That's Ryan.
Can you get that, Tatiana?
Why you gotta?
I told him I'm not like a cop. Bro. Knock the door down.
We gonna definitely have to quack this out because now they know Ryan's up next.
So cheers.
Oh, okay. Why you have to not like the police?
You guys already have an intro, no cutting, so you can't go back.
Anyway.
Yep.
Oh well. Like so, where were we?
Variety, man. I feel like variety is really important, right? Like I've had people ask me, like, do you want to be shooting movies? Do you want to do this? I want to do it all, man. Like I want to shoot anything. I get bored. I would get bored easy. So like I like having variety. I like doing different things.
I love documentaries right now because there's like I've been really blessed to have like really good stories, like really interesting people that like even after the shoot, like we follow each other on Instagram. Like I have their personal number, they'll text me and it's like, this is cool. Like this is an actual person that like their story is real life.
Yeah.
And like I've just learned so much about even just like how to handle situations, how to handle hardship through these documentary shoots.
Oh, dude.
And that's one thing that like I've like changed my life. I'm like, I'm a better person after the shoot.
100%.
And a lot of times with commercials or even like features, like I leave not feeling like that at all.
Yep.
You know?
Nope.
I'm just like, okay, another paycheck. Cool. Like,
that's what draws me to documentary as well, man, is you're really making an impact on the people whose stories you're telling.
yes.
But you can also be making an impact on the audience who are watching. 100%. Right? Because there's always these different stories being told through documentary. And sometimes like there are people out there and they feel like they're going through something and like no one understands them. And if they flip on Netflix and they see the story where someone went through exactly what they went through, it's like that could totally turn their life around.
Exactly.
And so being able to tell stories is like, it's like there's a level of satisfaction you get from just working as an artist, right? Yeah. But when you're able to like bring people together and like bring people up and improve people's lives, like outside of the artistic value of that, that's like a whole nother level, bro. It's a whole nother level.
Man, y'all DPs and y'all artists talk. It's good. It's beautiful sometimes.
We pretentious when we talk about being art.
It's beautiful sometimes. Like, so do you just see a blank canvas? Is it true?
No, I don't.
And then you just
a blank
paint
canvas. I mean, maybe if you walk into like a white room, but like any environment you go in, there's always like there are opportunities that are there for you in that room.
Right.
Like if you walk into a room and there's like a big window on the side, particularly for documentary, you're like, okay, cool, there's my key light, right? It's like oftentimes there are opportunities that have presented themselves when you walk into an environment. And if you get into like the higher level, like feature stuff, it can be more of a blank canvas because you have the resources to be like, okay, we're going to build this house.
Literally.
And we're going to put a window right here. And we're going to put a window here. And we're going to do this, that. And we can move walls. And it's just like, that's when it's a blank canvas. But like for me, it's not yet.
I always think about just like the story we're telling first. And I think that's why I really
100%.
appreciated Michael Martin being on. Because I think I DP more of like with the understanding of like directing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my decisions visually are based off of like emotionally, like what like the character or the main subject is going through. Lighting wise too, you know, even like that's how I decided we go on sticks, we go on handheld, we go on gimbal. Like I really want to like showcase like them more, and it's kind of a weird way to explain that because you just see it in your head. There's no way to be like, this is exactly why I'm doing this. It's just like, this feels right, you know, like
story is king, man.
Yeah.
Like we, as DPs, we do like to, it's important to like put your stamp on a film, right? And give that look. But at the end of the day, you're there to satisfy the director's look.
Yeah.
Right. It is all about the story, bro. Cause like you can go into a movie and it looks terrible, but the story's really good, and like stick around and be like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. But if you go into a film and it looks really good, but the story is trash, like you're walking out of that thing, man. Most people are. Maybe not me, because like we like, you know, good cinematography and stuff.
Yeah,
Eternals is a great example, dude. I fell asleep during Eternals.
God.
And
that
that
looks really
beautiful,
pretty though.
Beautiful.
That looks pretty. I haven't seen that.
Cinematography was so for me, honestly. If you want me to be realistic,
Really?
Yeah, it was so for me. It felt very first Iron Man. Like not it didn't for some reason. I mean, I think it was just CGI heavy too. That's also why it didn't really like keen to me.
That'll take you out of it.
But that's
sometimes.
I mean, that's all Marvel. But
the landscapes were beautiful though. Like we were
that's
traveling through time, and like I know it's all CGI, but like I thought it was awesome. Like even the trailer looked amazing.
You know what? We'll hold on. We'll go back.
You guys gotta have a podcast on the Eternals.
We'll turn. We're gonna start. Every time we bring on a DP now, we're gonna critique a movie. We're gonna go down a movie that we've all seen, and we're gonna critique a movie.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
But Jackson, so I want to know more. Before you got back in, before you were freelance, you were working at Sprint, or okay, Sprint before they turned T-Mobile.
Yeah.
The merger happened.
Yep.
That's fucking up everybody's lives,
T-Mobile.
probably.
Yeah.
But how was that?
For me at that time, that was like everything, you know, because I had just started PAing outside of college. I wasn't PAing enough to like not be working at this restaurant that I was working at.
Right.
And when I was in school, I had taken a tour of the place, and I met John Beatty, my mentor at the time. Mentor now still. He's in LA now, so he's far away. But miss you, John. Shout out John Beatty.
Shout out John
Beatty. Yeah. But I remember when we first took a tour of that place. Like they were showing us all the departments, and they're like, "All right, these are the editors, these are the producers, and here's our cinematographer." And like in the studio with all the gear, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I went right up to John, introduced myself to him, and we just kind of hit it off. And he started teaching me a lot of stuff. And then at one point, he was like, "Hey, I was just working as a PA, just like getting coffee and doing crafty and stuff." But like,
I keep forgetting you PA'd.
Yeah, for like 7 months, I think. But I was just like always looking over at camera department, being like, "Man, I want to be a camera. I want to be a camera," right?
Yeah.
And so then when John offered me a job there as like an in-house production assistant, camera assistant, kind of like taking care of gear and stuff like that, it was like I was able to quit my job as a server. It was like the best day of my life. I was like, fuck that. I'm never going back. I'm like full-time film now. That was the best. But
you remember the date?
Like the date?
Yeah.
It was late November. I don't remember the date though. You've had people remember the exact dates, huh?
Yeah. It's a thing to remember your day when you left the real world. Is what I call it.
Yeah. I don't remember the date, but I will never forget that day and like how I reacted to knowing that I was going back. I was going into like everything was filmed now. There was no like getting people bread and like pouring their waters and shit. It was just like.
Oh, you worked at Olive Garden then, I assume.
I worked at Capitol Grill. That was my last gig.
They're bringing people bread, so I figured Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse.
I
haven't been to Capitol Grill.
But it was great, man, because like they had everything, dude. They had two Alexa Minis. This was
at T-Mobile?
At T-Mobile. At this time, it was Sprint. So I got hired on in December 2019. I worked there for like 4 months, like until March, and then the pandemic happened. And like I was there working with cameras and shit. So like
you and Johanna too, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like when no one could come into work, like I had nothing to do, so they just kind of let me go. But like, and that was fine at that point because I was ready to like I learned so much about camera because they had everything. They had Alexa Minis, they had Canons, they had Cook glass, they had Canon glass. Literally, because they have everything. Empty pockets. So they had everything.
When I was just there a couple of days ago doing a shoot. And when Kevin Porter was showing me around, he was just like, "Oh yeah, we have like there's nothing, just anything you want in camera we have." I'm sure. I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "We have a couple Reds, a couple Alexas over there, all the C classes." I'm just like,
everything.
What cameras do you have? And you see all
all
their lenses are like stacked like on these shelves. Like there's 3 shelves of lenses. I'm just like, bro.
Yeah. So for me at that point, it was like camera school. It was like cinematography school because I had my mentor there with me every day, and he would just take me through and be like, "All right, this is what this does." We'd have a studio and we go and light stuff, and like every day was just like class.
That is
like so much fun, and I was getting paid to do
experience,
it. Yeah,
dude.
I was getting paid to like go and learn about it. So like every day, I would come in and I would just pull out the Alexa Mini, I would build it, and then break it down. And then like I would build other cameras and break it down, and just like I just looked at it like that, like this. I'm just getting paid to like learn about
That's
stuff.
so dope.
And so when I left, I was like, I really felt confident in my like knowledge for camera. So I was like, okay, I'm done taking PA work. Like I'm a camera assistant, or I'm a grip or whatever. And really
do you remember the day you stopped PAing?
I guess it was the last day. I mean, because my title was PA at Sprint, but like I wasn't a PA. I was even shooting for them. Like I was shooting with their mini sometimes on like smaller corporate stuff. So I was doing everything. But I don't remember my last day as like an official PA. I think it was technically on another T-Mobile shoot after that. Because after I left, I was like, no more PA work. And then John from T-Mobile was like, hey man, we don't have the budget for second AC. I could really use you on this, but we can only give you PA rate. And since he like taught me everything I know at the time, I was like, all right, I got you, bro. Yeah. So like, I think that was my last official PA gig. But again, I was essentially second AC on that.
Yeah, because at that point,
my last PA gig was at Planet Fitness, like 20.
The one with her?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
After that, and it was because it was like so dreadful. Like it was just dark all day. It was so boring. After that, I was like, I'm done PAing.
You told me about those Planet Fitness gigs.
Like, I'm done. This is it.
You do want to fall asleep. I did fall asleep once, but then I woke myself up.
Have you fallen asleep on set before?
Yes.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Probably an overnight.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Overnights were I did overnights like for like 2 weeks, almost straight for the stylist for a feature film.
Oh my gosh.
They did overnights. So you were
nocturnal by the end of it then.
Yeah, my sleeping schedule was all fucked up.
Yeah.
We had one of the key grip he brought, or the best boy on that set. I was working as a grip.
Right.
He brought smelling salts.
And
that's how he would stay up. He would literally be like, smell this, and I'd be like, oh fuck, and he'd be like, yeah. His name was Connor. Shout out to Connor.
Bro, I could have used that on my first overnight.
Shout out to Connor.
My first overnight, it was like right out of college. John Beatty shoot he was doing. It was 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. I had just done a shoot literally right before that with Jeremy. So like I double dipped, and that day I just got mono. Like mono hit me hard that day. So that morning I'm like working outside and it's hot and I'm just like feeling like shit. And I go home, I sleep for like half an hour, and then I come back to this other shoot and I do like 12 hours overnight with mono. It was the worst. And I did not feel like I could back out because it was like literally like one of my first days of working as a like freelancer outside of school.
Right.
And like I'm trying to make an impact on these people that I'm working with. And if they're like, okay, we just hired Jackson Montemayor. Oh, he just backed out. I'm not going to hire him again. He just backed out of like his first thing.
Gotta
and I remember specifically Vic, like it was like one of my first times working with Vic. And I was just feeling terrible, bro. Like I was just like dog shit, but I was still like going. I was like, bro, what do you do if you're like so sick on set? Do you like go home? He's like, don't be a pussy. And I was like,
it's a very big answer.
I was just like on lunch break. I just went to my car and like slept. I didn't even eat.
Dude,
just came
that's
back.
Wait, were you gripping or what were you?
I was gripping. Yeah. So it was a spec commercial. So I had known just very little about grip.
Yeah.
Like John brought me in just before I was at T-Mobile. He brought me in the studio and was with Wacker, Ken Wackendorfer, a good gaffer, and they taught me like just the basics and stuff. And then we went and did that. And so that was my first time gripping too.
Dang.
So, but that day after that, I was like, okay, I got through that. I can get through anything.
Exactly.
You know? Like those times that like build your mental toughness.
The stylist was like in the middle of January, coldest. Like it was so cold every day. Yeah. There were so many exteriors. Like we were having to put like mambo combos with like HMIs like at 2 a.m. like in the middle of a snowstorm. And like they made me do it. God. So I'm like across the street. They're shooting like in the salon. I'm like putting this big ass mambo combo, like 3 sandbags on it because it was windy. And then I'm like raising them up, like they're on walkie, seeing where they like it, moving it around. But it was like 10 degrees, snowing. Like after that day, everyone looked at us like, okay, like we appreciate you. Like, cause they saw us just like soaked. Cause we go back inside, get warm. All of our clothes just soaked and we go back outside.
That's a hustle, dude. Gripping is a hustle like no other.
Is like, bro, it was crazy.
But and like no other.
That was my first time gripping too. So like the first day one, like I really hadn't gripped. Like I never even like PA to the point where I had to use comms. That was like my first time using like
actual
like earpiece. Yeah, overhead.
Shit.
So like I was trying to figure out how to put on an earpiece like the first day, and the whole crew was from Chicago. Like there was only a couple locals, like maybe 5 locals that I like kind of knew. That I didn't know them.
And just in the G&E department?
No, in general. Like the whole crew was mostly from because they had shot like the.
Wasn't Vic on that?
No, The whole G&E was
I
from
feel like
Milwaukee.
that's a good start to being a grip though, because if you fuck things up, like everyone's just gonna leave and not like it's not gonna be that big a deal. But like if you go in as a grip and like you screw up a bunch of things with local people, they're being gonna stay and can't stay, and they're gonna remember who you are, and they're like, we're not gonna hire you, so he's a grip anymore, right?
Dude, I screwed up so much. I screwed up so much, but I hustled. I worked hard, like so they appreciated it.
Work it off.
But I was like, yeah, dude, this is my first time gripping. To be honest, like I don't even like know what the fuck a Cardellini like clamp is or any of this shit. So I was like literally in my phone like taking notes. Like every time they told me something, take a picture of it, make a note of it. Take a picture of it, make a note of it.
Legit, that's what I did. But one of my first grip jobs, like I was working with Jeremy, and he was like, "Oh, grip me a Cardellini or like a Mayfair or whatever." And I was like, "I don't know what the fuck that is." So I was like, "He's like, can you go grab that?" And I was like, "Yes." Ran off, put my phone in my pocket. I'm like, "What is a Cardellini?"
You Google
like pull up the picture, and I go in his grip truck, and I'm like, "That looks like a Cardellini." Grab that, come back. I'm like, "Here you go." He's like, "All right, great, thanks."
Y'all are wild.
I did that so many
stressful,
times,
bro.
So stressful.
Because you don't want to take too long, but you also like
exactly.
Like should
I
I
want
just
to come back with
ask?
something wrong?
Yeah. And then I came back with something wrong, and they're like, "No, I'll just go." And I'm like,
"Yeah." You're like, "Damn it."
Yeah, when they say I'll just go, that's when you know you fucked up.
It depends on what it is. If it's something like grabbing a Cardellini, maybe try to like figure that out on your own. But if they're like, "Do you know how to hack this 20K HMI up?" Don't lie about that shit because you will die if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know something about power, like
don't fuck with power. Don't fuck with power.
Yeah, don't fuck with power if you don't know what you're doing. Like that's when you really hurt yourself.
Man, I want to ask you guys from a DP's perspective because because T-Mobile, they have that new Unreal Engine.
The psych wall.
Yeah.
Oh, they have one of those?
They have the 4-wall. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's awesome.
It's unreal. Like literally, it's unreal.
It is
wow.
Unreal. We because they
that's crazy.
We shot the first spot the day one, and I was just kind of like, oh, they just like digitally make that, and they're like, no, that's from over in the Junction area. We took that still photo the other day, and I was just like, wait, what? And then we moved set into an actual room. I couldn't tell the difference in camera, bro. I really couldn't. It's actually pretty wild.
What are they like? What are they shooting? Like a new like phone? Like what kind of commercials are they doing with any of that?
Well, they do a lot of green screen stuff. Like before they got the psych wall, a ton of green screen stuff. So it just takes that an extra step.
Wow.
Right? Like shooting green screen, take it back to the DI, and then like they incorporate the look. But like, why do that when you can really have like the image there on set?
Wow.
And like, what's cool about it is that you can use lights from like
your lighting
build a
with it.
sky up top, and then it looks like skylighting.
That was a crazy thing because they had the background. The background was a room. This wall was just a white light giving her bounce, and then they have bounce coming off the floor to give her light up here too. And I was just like, this is actually
one-stop shop.
Yeah,
that's dope.
And then they had the second day they had like the T-Mobile pink dots like flying through because they were testing the graphics and all that. And I was like, bro, how do you?
It's not perfect. Like if you look close, it's like a little pixelated. And stuff.
When you gotta really look, but when it's just unfocused and you're doing an interview, you're not really worried about it. You're just kind of like, holy shit, that looks like a legit interview. Like
that's
in the room right now.
Yeah,
Mandalorian. Nathan told me Nathan was talking about how I didn't hear, but heard through the grapevine that like Nathan said Mandalorian and Boba Fett. I guess used those kind of stages.
They used a ton of psych wall stuff. That was Greg Fraser who shot that. It was really interesting him talking about that too, because he had mentioned too that it wasn't like perfect yet. Like it was kind of like if you really focus on the background, you can kind of see. So like what they did was they used really fast lenses and like an Alexa 65 with a really big sensor, so like the depth of field's really thin. So I'm sure it played with the look of it overall, but it also helps when the depth of field is shallow. Yeah. So you're not seeing it as much, so it just looks like it's blurry. So
I'm not worried about
yeah. Like it definitely helps with that.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. I would love to shoot on one of those, but I don't like.
Does T-Mobile like they just do
don't even ask them.
No, they do not. They do not. They don't need to, bro.
Yeah.
They have deep pockets, dude. They have all the money in the world. They do not need to make rentals off of like.
That's crazy.
That's the thing is like when you're renting stuff out, you take the risk.
Okay, so
you
did ask about rentals then.
That's what you're
Is that where you were going?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. We knew where he was going.
I was like, no,
he's like, I want to get in there and shoot something on that thing.
I'm wondering. I'm just like,
because I thought about even asking the question. I was like, that'd be very unprofessional. I mean,
things may have changed, but when I was there, they don't need stuff. They don't need to.
Because the fact that they've downsized too, since they're no longer Sprint, and they're not even in the same studio they were in at one point anymore. They're in a smaller studio now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I would love to do it if I could get back in there, and I'll definitely ask. But
get in there, bro.
There's a hard no. I feel like coming my way.
I'm sure they get asked all the time. I'm sure they get asked.
They did. Well, when I was working there, these people just hit me up all the time, be like, "Oh, you guys ran out your stuff. I'm like, sorry, man.
Sorry, man. Even though we have
Sorry,
everything
dude.
you want here.
Yeah, we have literally everything you could need here, like one-stop shop. Sorry, we can't.
It's literally like the nicest studio probably like in the Midwest.
No.
Nah, I haven't been to RS. Have you been to RSVP? I haven't been there.
I haven't
They
been
have
to
a big
RS.
studio, right?
I haven't been to RS.
Is that local?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
I don't know who. Like honestly, before art class got rid of the North Studio, like I didn't know who really had a studio that like big enough that could.
I just knew it was Strangeland, but that was like.
Well, yeah,
that's all
of course, Strangeland.
Yeah.
But like I've only ever been out there once.
Yeah.
It's not really. It was overhyped to me actually. Like when I like walked through the walls and like seeing all like the tech art and all that, I'm just like,
I had never been. I didn't even.
It's okay. Like I respect this. I respect all of this. Just feel like this might be a little too much for me at the same time too. So I'm gonna just go back to the stage.
Yeah.
But
They
respect.
have enough
Shout out
for what
to
they're
Tech9,
doing.
though.
Oh, you're talking about Strange?
Yeah, I like Strange. Though.
I didn't know what to like. I had no idea that was even there. So when I pulled up, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then Adrian was like, "Oh yeah, this is like Strangeland." It's
They
like,
have like 3 or 4 buildings too, which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
He's rolling in it.
It's dope.
Well, yeah, he's rolling in it.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Jackson, thank you so much, man, for stopping
Man, it was a
by,
pleasure.
coming to talk with
It was
us
a
and just
pleasure.
hanging.
Yeah.
See, that's how some conversation will go. We won't even be like directly like on the subject the entire time. We'll just like
Well, we're just human beings,
Float it.
man. We're just talking, right? So like
float
that's
it, talk
natural.
it, come say what comes. to
Hopefully
your
it was
mind.
interesting. And if it wasn't, people can just skip forward like 5 or 6 minutes and then we'll start
Right.
talking about film.
For people that actually like watch this because they want to learn about like
Yeah.
camera department or DPs, what's something you've learned the last 2 years that you could have told Jackson like 2 years ago and that really would have like upped his game, you know?
I guess I would say just do it as much as you can. Quantity.
Get your reps in.
Quantity,
Reps.
right? Like there is that argument of quality over quantity, and there's the argument for quality. But I've been reading this book called Art and Fear, and they had this really interesting perspective on quality versus quantity. And they made this. They were talking the story about this. It was like a teacher who was teaching people how to like build clay, right? Like clay.
Just sculptures
And stuff, right? And so they gave one team the job of making. They were the quality sign. It was like make one sculpture all year. You can only make one sculpture, but it has to be like the best, and you'll get an A. And the other team, they had to make as many as they could, and if they got to like 50 pounds of sculptures, then they got an A, right? So at the end of the year, you would think the ones like quality ones would be the best, but really it was the quantity because they had the reps in. So they would make one, realize a mistake that they did, discard it, make another one, and like subtle improvement each time.
Put your 10,000 hours in, people.
Right, subtle improvement each time. So at the end, like they had the best looking.
And
ones.
there's no pressure mentally of being like every little crevice needs to be perfect. You're just like, all right, that looks cool. And then like you just can just create freely. You don't have to worry about it being the best ever.
Right.
You
So
know?
like that's my advice because like I struggle with like my own insecurities as an artist, right? Because like I create and then sometimes I'm like, oh, it's not good enough. But it's okay if it's not good enough. Like it's okay if it's dog shit, especially when you're starting out. Like you know what you're doing. Just like make as much as you can, make it be bad, and then the next one like be a little better.
Yeah.
And then eventually you'll get to the point where you're really happy with what you're making. Because there's a point where like I wasn't happy with the stuff that I was making, but I just pushed. I just kept doing it just because it was like fun. And now I'm starting to make stuff that I'm proud of. So.
And that's our soundbite. That's what we're gonna cut up and use as promo.
That's what we're gonna cut up and use the promo.
Yep.
Okay. Well, no, real quick. I gotta ask you the question, the ending question. Where do you want to see film progress? in the coming years?
Like on what level? What do you like?
Just any, I mean, honestly, on any level, whether it's a workforce type of thing, a creative type of thing, like where do you want to see our industry progress at?
I mean, I think it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about the mental health aspect of it, and just like, cause you go on Instagram and you just see people creating shit and like being cool and making really good looking stuff, and then sometimes you see that, especially as like a budding creator, and you're like, that looks really good, and mine doesn't look good. Like, there's something wrong with me. And it's like, as artists, like, we put a lot of value in our work, and like for us, it's like a reflection of who we are sometimes, but it's not. Like, there is a difference between what you create and who you are as a person. And like, you don't have to put value in yourself and like what you're creating. Like, there can be a separation in that. So where am I going with this? It's okay to like be self-conscious about your work. It's okay to like I think there should be more awareness with like the growing process, and that you don't have to be great right away. Like you can be bad for a long time. You can be bad. Like
not for a very long time.
I mean, not for a long time, but like it's okay. Like how old are we gonna live to be? Like 70, 80? Like
hopefully
you could, right? Like you
for
can
our lifespans are getting.
Like who cares if you like
shorter.
make bad stuff for like 3 years or for however long? Like as long as you keep at it, you're gonna get better no matter what you do. You have to improve if you just keep working at stuff.
There's a certain.
So it's like changing what we value as creatives, as filmmakers. Like it's not about the accolades. It's not about the likes or comments or whatever. It's really more about us like being proud of creating it and then doing it again,
the process,
and doing it again.
Yeah.
The process, getting better, and like not being discouraged, because there's so many people that will start and they're not happy with their results and then they'll quit. Like I'm not good enough.
Yep.
It's like, well, no one is at first. No one's good enough at first. Keep going. You will be.
Eventually.
Put
in those 10,000 hours.
Now. You're good enough now.
10,000
You'll be better
hours,
later.
I promise you. If you put in 10,000 hours.
And you might fuck up at 10,000 hours.
You will.
You're gonna fuck up at 10,000 hours.
So then like don't like just keep going. Like just
I read a quote by a DP, I can't remember who it was, but he said, and he's got an experienced guy.
Deacons.
I don't know. He's an experienced guy, and he was like, if you're not afraid going into a shoot, like you should just be done. Like you've won at that point. Where's the fun and like the challenges and like being scared that you're gonna fail, or like there's a lot of adrenaline that comes from that. And like if you ever get to the point where you're just like, yeah, I got it, and it's like, where's the fun in that? You know, challenge yourself.
Amen to that.
Challenge yourself.
Yeah.
This has been Filming in Progress.
Progress.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank
that was
you
a lot of
guys
fun.
so much for stopping
That was a ton
by.
of
Jackson,
fun.
thank you so much for coming by. We'll have you on next time. Next time we'll bring you and Tatiana at the same time.
At the exact
couples
same time.
podcast.
The exact
Yeah.
couples
Podcast.
Yeah, we'll probably do something for our couples out there. I know there's a few couples out there.
For sure. Kind of
So,
together,
yeah.
All right.
Thank you so
Love
much.
you guys too.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate
All right,
you.
everybody. Y'all have a good night. And once again, this is Filming in Progress. I'm your host, Jarrell Washington. Eastside. We out. Peace.
Howdy.